And it's kind of like what they did down in Miami, which is, look, Tua's got no more excuses. You bring in DK Metcalf, Jalen Hurts has got nothing else to say.
Adding draft choices. Please hit the like button. Cal, do me a favor. Put that trade up. And let's show everybody what went down here with this football team. And to me, once again, Howie is really adding to the treasure chest here. Some people don't like it. Obviously, they want to see players added to the mix here. But here is the trade here. Number 18, number 101, third rounder, 237, a seventh rounder. And in 2023, they get another one. And in 2024, they add another two. The Saints in their return get the 16th pick, the 19th pick, and 194 in the 6th round. Let's bring in Gary Cobb from Fox 29 here, get his thoughts on it, and add Gary to it. Gary, what's your thoughts initially on this here and what Howie was doing? It's like I said, I think it's more of a situational thing, Gary, that you're talking that it's positioning right now for something in the draft that they're looking for. Just your thoughts.
Well, they obviously, are looking at it, and they have a way in which they total up everything, and it has kind of a numerical value, and they add it all up, and they have this, this formula for that. And so they're able to add and see that. Now, the thing is, though, it comes down to get the picks right, man. That's what you can have all these picks. We saw this before. Come on, look at, J.J. Arcega-Whiteside. Come on. You get him. You got DK Metcalf sitting there on the board. You get J.J. Arcega-Whiteside. And what does the pick matter? What is the numerical and the whole formula? That's not it. The thing is, get the pick right. And if you're not going to get the pick right, we could give you the first pick in the draft, and you can screw that up. And we know that because we've seen teams do it. In fact, we've seen how we screw up first round and second round picks. So it doesn't excite me because they got to get the stinking pick right.
Gary,
and you can give a guy all kind of picks in the first round if they get them wrong,
How about this, Gary? See, to me, I completely agree with you on this part of what you said here. See, to me, I thought it was more important to find out if your quarterback's the guy instead of acquiring more picks, which you have been. Yeah. I mean, like you said, Whiteside, he's got 1 touchdown in 4 years. Rager's got 3 and 2. Does it really matter if you're acquiring all these picks if you're striking out on all of these picks? So, I mean, I thought the number one thing, Gary, to me was you got to find out if this guy's the guy or not.
You got to know the quarterback. You got to know the quarterback. Now, obviously, they may say, well, we don't see anybody that's special enough that really shines so far above him right here in this draft. Maybe that's what they're thinking. But you got to be right on the quarterback thing, man. You got to be right on that. And you need talent. You got to get playmakers along with your quarterback because the good teams in the league, they can score, man. They can score. They're going to score. And, you got J.J. Arcega-Whiteside and Rager. Come on. You can't win with those guys out there trying to make plays for you. So that's why this doesn't excite me. And, Howie could be in there and he could come up with all these little formulas. And I know he lost some of the guys that were some of his talent evaluators. People come in and scoop some of those guys up. I don't know who they brought on and who's going to be the eyes to pick, but you got to be able to spot talent, evaluate talent, draft talent, man. You got to have that. And if you can't do that, it doesn't matter about that formula. You could take that formula, and do whatever you want to with it. It's not the answer.
How about this, Gary? To me, I think the biggest waste this offseason has been, what's the sense of having, and look at this here too, the offense, So Devontae Smith is on a rookie contract. Rager's on a rookie contract.
Yeah.
The quarterback is on a rookie contract.
Yep.
Pascal's making 1.5. Goddard's making 1.5. Sanders is making 1.7. What's the point of having your quarterback on a rookie deal if you're not building with veteran guys to find out if this guy is the guy? Like you said, A.J. Brown is out there. They've got him on the open market, Tennessee. Yeah. You've got DK Metcalf out there. Yeah. Hell, you had Allen Robinson. You had all of these other guys.
That's right.
That you could have made a trade for to find out. Aren't they wasting Jalen Hurts being on that rookie contract if they're not bringing veteran guys in to find out if he is the guy?
I think they definitely are. I think this is the time, like, I was asked earlier today, about, DK Metcalf. I think, you could get him for a first and a third. You go get him. You try to work out a deal before you agree to the trade. So that way, he's not coming in talking crazy money, but he's going to get big money. You got to pay him well. But you need a marquee guy. And you come in right away and make your rookies, your young players better. And he puts you in a point where, look, you got yourself a wide receiver. You got enough, talent out there. Now you got to make sure you have the quarterback. And it's kind of like what they did down in Miami, which is, look, Tua's got no more excuses. You bring in DK Metcalf, Jalen Hurts has got nothing else to say. Either, hey, we want to win something. And so you start talking that way to him till you get the receivers out there. You're going to evaluate him, but, you're not where you're going to say, hey, we're a quarterback away. You can't really say you're a quarterback away now because you don't have enough talent around them. There's not enough talent out there. You can run the ball, but you don't have the talent at the wide receiver position you need. And that's why I was sure they were going to do something to get a veteran receiver and to get a shot at DK Metcalf, which is screwed up before. He's a special player. He is a number one that you bring in, and because of his size and speed, they got to double him all the time. So the other guys know they're going to be single covered. So, you kind of establish something by bringing in a guy with that kind of talent.
Why the balking at free agency this year, Gary? Is there? I mean, you've been around this team. You've watched how they've operated. Why the balking so much at free agency this year, more so than maybe any other time?
Well, from what I've heard, they've gone at some people, but they've just been lowballing, And you got to go out and say, hey, we want this guy. We're going to go get this guy. And you might have to pay a little bit more. I mean, go get the guy, So if they were to do this and really go out and, let's say, get DK Metcalf, I would forgive everything this offseason, whatever other screw-ups. But right now, man, they have not gotten it done during this offseason because you see what they've added at the wide receiver position. It's not enough. You haven't added a legitimate wide receiver that comes in that's better than your kids, who can teach your kids. You haven't done that. And that's what I thought they were going to do because it's very clear that they needed to do it. Now they could do it through the free agency or through a trade. You go get a veteran wide receiver in here because you look at the league now, you got to have talent out there. You got to score points. You're not going to be able to live off of what they did last year, which is with the running game. Because when you get to the playoffs, you got to throw the football, man. You got to be able to throw the football. So you go get a marquee guy. Now you're just looking at the quarterback position. We know we got to get at a certain quality at the quarterback position. And so, you make it very simple. So we'll see what they do, but they have not done enough on the offensive side of the ball. They haven't done it.
You know what, Gary? It just reeks of rebuild. I mean, you know how you're getting ready to sell something or you want to gut something like they're doing in Seattle.
Yeah,
it just looks like there's outside of the O-line, there's zero money on the team. There's zero money. And the money they do have is in some of these preposterous deals that he has signed. There's $35 million in dead cap money that's on this football team too. I mean, It just,
and the thing
it looks like bargain basement guys.
Yeah, the thing you ponder too is, why do you give Fletcher Cox $14 million? I mean, if you're not in love with him anymore, I mean, and what is he going to do? I mean, if he does what he did last year for $14 million, I mean, I would rather have some of the young kids, see if these young kids can blossom. So I don't understand all of what this makes. It's almost like you're just wasting time. You don't want to waste a year. You want to come in and say, okay, do we think we can win it this year? No, we really don't think we can win the whole thing. So, but we want to look at our quarterback. So we're going to get him weapons. And if he can't do it, he can't do it. We know, hey, we're going to make a change there. You got to be finding things out. There's got to be a recipe. There's got to be a formula that you're putting out there. And all this stuff with the picks and stuff, that doesn't excite me. You got to go get some talent. And if you're not sure about what you're doing in the draft, you got to trade for it then. And they missed wide receiver. Come on. A number one and a number two there we talked about with Arcega-Whiteside and with Rager. You missed those two picks. Go get us a number one wide receiver. Go get a number one wide receiver. Maybe you have to pay a little more. That's what you get when you're screwing up the draft picks.
You make such a great point on just because you have volume of picks doesn't mean you know what to do with these picks. Hey, if Ozzie Newsome you're right, Gary. If Ozzie Newsome has this deal, I'm great with it because look at the people and players that he has selected in Baltimore.
That's right.
He is a cap guy.
Yeah.
He's not a talent evaluator. He does everything right, getting more. Look at this. Getting more picks, getting more assets, under the cap, all of this. But at the end of the day, building a football team, I'm not seeing it. I mean, why? I was told they were going to gamble. What's the gamble, Jalen?
Yeah, the thing is, now maybe what he does is he takes the picks and he trades for somebody, okay? Then you go get talent. But, and the year that they won it, he did a great job with bringing in guys that were able to contribute. That year, a lot of them were near the end. They came in and contributed. That's a really tough formula. That's very hard to repeat. But if they, like I said, DK Metcalf, I talked to a guy who, is close to the Seahawks. And I know that for the right thing, seems like, hey, he's out there, But they got to get a lot for him. They're going to have to give up a lot for him, So.
Well, they've got now the picks to do this. I mean, to me, Gary, give him a 1 this year. You've acquired another 1 next year.
Yeah.
Give him a 2 and 3 that you've picked up.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got the assets here.
Go after.
Gary, let me stop you for a second. Does this tell you that the more Howie does this kind of move, does this tell you that he's not sold truly in his heart on Hurts?
I don't think they know, but they're definitely not sold on him. And you can tell by the way they're going. I mean, the fact that they're inquiring. If they were sold, they wouldn't be inquiring. They're clearly not sold. How could you be sold when you get in the playoffs and you see he's not ready for it? The game against Tampa Bay, you can't come out of that game and say, we know we got the right guy. No. You definitely can't be happy with that. At least from what I saw of the game, because for most of the game, I don't know that he really knew where he's going with the ball. There's no figuring out what they're doing, making adjustments during the game, the things you got to do on the pro level. You didn't see that in that game at all. So clearly, you can't say that we know this is our guy. They say that, because right now he is the guy there now. But they're looking. They are definitely looking. But I think if you're able to add a talented wide receiver, man, go get the guy, even if you got to pay too much.
Gary, they're just I don't think they're sold on the roster, not just the quarterback. They're
I agree.
Not sold on the roster because you're getting all these picks.
Yeah.
It's all great and all. But the football team has not gotten better this offseason. And what sucks, Gary, is that, and you know what, I'm learning how this guy does business or maybe doesn't do business. And it's frustrating because I was talking with Barrett Brooks today. It's frustrating because the NFC's there for the taking. The NFC East is there for the taking.
Yes.
And you're acquiring picks instead. Here, Gary, I'm gonna say this as simple as I can and maybe as rough as I can. Fuck the picks. I need players.
Yeah. That's it. You need players. So if they're gonna move these picks and get some players, if that's why you went and got the picks, okay. But I want to see something. We have not really improved very much this offseason. I'll tell you that. There has been very little improvement. You just look at the team. Even defensively, you can't get thrilled by what they have done. I mean, they added Reddick. Other than that, what have they added defensively? You know? You can't really get that excited where I see that they really changed a lot. And do I trust them with this draft? How could you trust them with the draft? They haven't done well. So I say, if you're not sure, go get somebody you know can come get you, can get the job done. And I see maybe that's why they went and got all those picks. If they do that, then I say, okay, Howie, you admit you're not that confident in what you're going to do in the draft, so you went and got something that was sure.
You think that this is aiming towards a quarterback being selected in the first round?
I don't think that. I'm not sure about that quarterback in the first round. Meaning for the Eagles to do something in the first round, no, I wouldn't say that I think they're going to do that, because that would mean moving up. Now, if they do that, then if they're so sure that one of these guys is the guy, that he's clearly better than Jalen, that you move up. And I don't know that they do that. I know next year there are guys coming out in that draft where you get excited about the quarterback. You figure, hey, these guys are franchise quarterbacks. So that's what's coming out next year.
You sold me, Gary. Gary, you sold me. I don't care about the picks, man. I need players.
Yeah.
We need players.
Need players now. That's right.
If you're sold and I'm not, I don't believe they are. I don't believe they are sold on Jalen Hurts.
No, they're definitely not. I mean,
their actions are speaking to this.
That's right. They're not sold on him. No.
I just don't see it. Gary, I appreciate it, man. I mean, I think this is a great, on paper, if you're outside of Philadelphia, Gary, people are going to say that Howie, he fleeced the Saints. Great. But when you're a shit evaluator, what's it matter? What's it matter?
If you don't get those picks right, picks don't matter. We saw that.
Look at this. Whiteside, Derek Barnett.
Yeah, come on.
I mean, all these guys that he has taken, I mean, the Ragers of the world, those are 3 picks I named you right there.
That's right.
That he's flopped on.
Yep.
We're supposed to believe that over the next 2 years, those 4 picks are going to turn out to be starters. Why would I think that?
I know that's fool's gold. That's fool's gold.
Absolutely. Gary Cobb, thank you so much for doing this. I appreciate it, brother. We'll catch you next week. Gary Cobb from Fox 29. Thank you so much.